Hey, I didn't get cooked too hard. Easy there, Lucian.
No.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
No, he just came out of
He
it
just
a little
cooked me
medium
soft
rare.
boiled. You know, yeah. Medium. I was a little medium rare coming out.
Nah, you were well done. You got a house.
No, dude.
Just a little red.
My meat was juicy still, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Big Deck Energy. We are at episode 41 today. We got some interesting topics that we're going to cover with a couple of my co-hosts here. We got Josh Lucian, Tyler Barrett, and Bailey Hilton. I think we're going to break into a little bit of how Mistvale's kind of looking from the initial draft footage we've seen, some comments about certain aspects of that footage, and I don't know, what else are we covering today, boys? What are y'all feeling?
Well, me and Bailey played in our armory.
We did.
We got some armory news. So we can go over that as well.
That's right.
We played a social play event, so we can touch on that a little bit. Definitely recommend that for anyone who has not played in the social event.
It was a good time.
Yeah, definitely was. And then, yeah, I mean, that's about it. We've got kind of a quiet episode this week.
We do have some good questions to touch on the backside, though.
Yep.
A lot of good questions.
Yep. So let's just get right into it. Bailey, who'd you play in the social play event?
I played Brevin. I was like going through. I don't really have like a blitz deck put together at the moment. Just like, I mean, we play it so infrequently.
Yep.
But I was kind of panicking until I remembered that I did have the whole like round the table set, and I was like, maybe I'll play like Melody. Like Bard sounds kind of cool. And then I was like looking at Brevin, and I was like, nah, Guardians, that's my calling. I need to. And man, oh man, dude, Brevin is fun.
The first time you blocked for somebody, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
I didn't even know. I didn't even know about that.
It's kind of a
the
little
the chivalry.
weird.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. It's the chivalries. They're so cool.
Yeah.
It
True
kinda adds a
politicking.
little
It just
bit of,
really
like,
introduces
complication to the blocking step, because
Yep.
there's that, like, if there's a Brevin at the table, it's like, okay, like they passed on blocks. Does Brevin want to block for somebody? Or
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
At the first game we played, Nathan and Alex were just like duking it out the whole game, just throwing haymakers at each other. And I think like twice a piece I saved them from lethal from each other, just because I could. But he also gets like a might token when he defends with it. Every single time you protect someone, you get a might token. So there was like a turn cycle where I like saved Nathan from lethal from Alex, saved Alex from lethal for Nathan, and then swung like 14 at Alex.
Wasn't Sean just like fueling like a war between them two, but with baubles and shit?
Yeah,
and
no,
he was like
giving
filling
them their hand with baubles.
Would you like a bauble, sir? Would you like a bauble? Sean played Squizzy and Floof. So.
And then he was running
that was pretty cool.
The silver palms too. So once they got to lower life than him, was, hey, do you want to draw a card too? Like blah blah blah, and just fueling up his. I don't even know what he.
All the while he's just amassing gold.
Yeah. So he's just swimming in. So he was a true merchant. Yeah. He was just swimming in silver.
But there was like
gold.
no payoff.
Just nothing.
I don't think there was a payoff in his deck. His deck wanted to just like play second. You just like sit there and let people kill each other, and then slowly die.
Yeah, you just go at the end.
He played a knick-knack bric-a-brac. Do you remember that?
Yeah. What did he call it? Knick-knack break a table or something?
Oh gosh, he called it something really funny. I actually forget off the top of my head, but
I was rolling.
He mispronounced it, and we all just started dying. But he like
knick-knack breaker-back.
Yeah, he like put a bunch of items and talismans out, and then he just passed. It's like this big cool thing, and then he just did nothing. I'm like, okay.
He tutored up like 6 potions, and then just went, okay, pass.
Yeah, if you haven't guessed, audience, we played UPF, and I think most social play events you have to play UPF.
They have to be UPF.
Yeah. I highly recommend it for any shop that has not done it. You also get a kit with it that are.
There's some pretty spicy stuff in kit.
some like expensive
cold
cards.
foil Civic Steps.
Yeah.
Really?
They're up to 145 now.
Wait, was there a cold foil one?
Yeah.
For I thought there were only rainbows.
No.
Oh wow.
No, for the social play, because the rainbow foils come with the decks.
Mm-hmm.
So at least for the Melody, because we've only had a Melody kit and a Brevin kit, but it's been cold foil equipment. Those Civic Steps are spendy.
Oof. I mean,
It's probably
They're
so that's
mainstay
just
staple.
because it's the only place to get them.
They might
then.
be a rainbow foil, actually.
Yeah, I could have swore whoever pulled them was it Alex that got them.
I think it was Alex that got them.
Yeah.
I'll check on that. But yeah, no, it was a ton of fun. I ended up walking out with like half of the people's promo chivalries, the rainbow foils. Walked away with the Brevin mat, some rainbow foil equipment. I was
Nice.
just sitting there at the
Yeah,
end
there's
of
a
it.
ton
like,
of swag in that kit.
oh, dude, I was sitting there at the end of it, just like
Wheeling
slinging
and
around
dealing.
like trades and cash. I'm like, just,
Yeah.
come on, give me the Brevin stuff.
Also,
Give me a doll.
it didn't really like interfere with our armory. We just played before
Yeah,
our
and then
armory.
we just did the armory right after.
So it was pretty cool. It was the first
They
time
are
we played
rainbow foil.
UPF. Are they?
Yeah, they are rainbow foil. I was wrong.
And they were still 140 for a rainbow. What the fuck? So we were just like actually flipping random cards for a lot of money there. I didn't even realize that. That's crazy.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do with the
No,
kits
I know.
anyways, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I had no idea someone was going to hit like $100
$100
promo. That's
card,
pretty
yeah.
wild. I did not know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, what else are Guardians running in the boot slot right
Yeah,
now?
it's just best in slot, right?
Yeah.
And that's why. Yeah. Once they get one, though, I'm sure that card will
Oh,
just
yeah,
tank.
as soon
Once
as
they get their
Guardians
legendary
get, like,
boot.
good boots, the value on Civic Steps is just going to
Yeah.
fall off
down.
a cliff.
That was our shop's first time actually playing UPF. I know we've played it a few times between us and stuff, and it's been a blast. And sure enough, it was really fun.
Yeah.
I played Cheyenne. Our first
course.
match, it was me, Carter, and Tanner in a pod. So we were the one pod with 3 players. Tanner was on Benji, and Carter was on Melody. And Tanner proceeded to draw 20 cards in a turn and double string tidings, OTK Carter, and then he dealt 19 to me and left me at 1. So, yeah, GG's Tanner. That was amazing. There's no ban list, I guess, right, in UPF? I don't think.
There is a ban list, but it's mostly like older like promos that weren't like handed out at events and stuff.
Yeah.
Yorick.
He had
So,
masks.
Yeah, Yorik's banned.
Shows with Yorick. God, could you imagine?
Rudy and his equipment is banned.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. That'd have been funny. if
Tanner
he showed
had
up
a
with, like,
Mask of
Rudy.
the Pouncing Lynx, though, which helps with that double string tidings, right? Pretty wild.
Do you have like a Salta wound or something too?
Yeah, somewhere in there maybe. Or no, I don't even know if...
Or no, what did you say he hit Carter with Vipox?
Yeah, and
he just
the
couldn't
Vipox,
block with
the
anything, yeah.
Vipox had go again as well, like off of an Art of War. Yeah, the man just went off. It was amazing. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen in like a Blitz game, and the ability to do it to 2 players in one turn was pretty wild. You have to attack. When you attack a different player on your turn, you have to close the chain.
Yep.
So as a ninja, you close the chain. It's pretty bad for you. So he was able to deal 20 to Carter and then close the chain and then proceeded to deal 19 to me. It's just
Jeez.
like, what the fuck?
Jeez.
It was crazy, dude. It was crazy. But we
So who
ended up...
ended up winning at that table?
Well, yeah, Tanner took that one down, which, yeah. He ended up, I think, we played another round after that. And me and Carter wanted to get
He
in
got
the
his
4-man pod.
comeuppance.
Yeah, I guess he got just like smacked around in his pod after that. But me, Bailey, and Carter and Sean played in a pod, and
That one was fun.
That was a crazy
I'm
game.
a little like disappointed we didn't get to finish it. Just
Yeah,
to,
I know.
You know, we had to start the armory and everything.
there was
but-
still a lot of game to be played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I was
that-
close to dying, which is why I just conceded, just to
Yeah.
try to get the armory going. But you are right; it would have been fun to play it out. Basically, Bailey and I were just smashing each other the
Oh,
whole
we had
time.
a like blood feud going.
I couldn't touch Carter because he's across, diagonal from me. He's on Melody, and then Sean's just playing Squizzy and Floof, and he's just giving me free cards and stuff. So I felt like less inclined to attack him ever, and like I don't know.
Yeah,
it's fun. The politicking of it is actually fun.
Yeah, I think I ended up conceding 2 just because to get it started, but Carter ended up like double. What's the Bard attack final act?
Yeah, it's like the song blast.
He like hit final act for like 60, or it was like 29 on the first one, 31 on the second.
Oof.
He like
I'm sorry, what?
I don't even remember how many cards he had in his pitch. He just had an absolute like fuck ton of cards in his pitch zone. It was insane.
Fucking wild.
Oof.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I know we've said that a ton now, but
Who took the armory down?
highly recommend. Yeah.
Who did take the armory?
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, I did. What?
I thought so.
No, I'm just kidding.
My deck's cracked, dude. I already told you.
I know.
No,
Don't need to tell me.
yeah, we played a CC Armory. I was on Teklo, of course, just going to do some heavy testing. I've already put so many reps into them. I'm not going to probably put the deck down anytime soon.
Well, we're a month away from nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's I was on Azalea for the armory. Same thing as Ty, just with calling coming up
Yep.
in like a month. I think just testing heavy this month and getting all my reps in, getting comfortable on it.
Yeah. First round was a bye for me, though. This is the first time I've had a bye in a while. It was weird, right? When I clicked pair rounds, it was like I had this spidey sense of like I was going to get the bye. I don't know. The
What
universe
clicked?
was talking to me. It was just like, you're going to get the bye. And I clicked it. And I was like, yep, there I am on the bye. I was like, fuck. It was weird.
Okay, we take those round 1 wins.
No, I know. That's true. I just like, fuck, when I'm giving up a few hours a week to come and play, it's like,
And then you don't get to play.
yeah. It was cool to like actually sit and watch some of the games, though. Like watching your guys' matchups.
There was a lot of
actually
cool
fun.
stuff happening too this weekend.
Yeah, at one point there was at our table there was a Betsy v Teklo, and then next to me was a Teklo v Vincent.
A lot of Teklos.
Well, Alex was trying my list, yeah.
Gotcha.
Minus a few cards he's missing, like Warmongers, just a few like sideboard stuff. But he's got like the core made out, and it's the same list. But yeah, at one table there was those 4 heroes, which was just like I kind of looked and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Everyone at our shop always just plays whatever they want, which is important and it's good.
Did you get any Teklo mirrors?
No, I did not get to play Alex. Undefeated into the Teklo mirror though. All the times I've ever gotten a chance to play it, and it's only a handful of games, like just on Talishar. I've never actually in person played it. But
Well, most of them are on pretty different lists than yours too.
I think
aren't
so.
they?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, so after the round 1 bye, I played Rick on KO. It was his first time playing KO.
Oh, he was on KO though.
Yep. He's on KO. He's a brute player at heart. He's played a lot of Rhinar, and yeah, even with like the KO LLing soon, or maybe soon. We'll see. We still have.
Probably soon.
Yeah, I told him that he should probably just pick the deck up and try it. It's doing powerful things, probably a little better and more consistent than Rhinar. And I was happy he did it. He picked up the Armory deck and souped it up a little bit. And yeah, our game was just, I just found my evos very fast, did the thing, And then I was trying to help Rick throughout the game and stuff, learn the deck. There is a lot of moving parts with your initial like starters where you discard. Like he was missing Claw sometimes, where the Claw would just have go again,
Yep.
And yeah, you always want to be going big attack with go again into Claw into some finisher, right? It's doing that pretty consistently right now.
Oh yeah.
But there's a turn he like played Cast Bones in a Blood Rush, and I took like 4 damage. Off of like Fabricate, and did the thing. It was pretty wild. You can really do that if it lines up. But I was 2-0. We only played the 3 rounds that day. We didn't get to play a 4th. Everyone kind of had to jet. But I played Carter in the finals with Betsy, and Betsy's kind of of the Guardians is the one I want to see least. I'll say, like, I think I'm favored into the Guardians regardless. But Overpower is actually good against Teklo.
Yeah.
Because my evos on the battlefield count as actions.
Oh yeah.
So the Overpower just sees one of them, and then that locks all of them in hand. Maybe I can't block with. But the game was not close. The Overpower came up on a Buckle. He gave the attack Dominate as well. Twice actually he played Buckle against me, and both of the attacks had Overpower and Dominate, and I was able to. On one of them, I played the Steel Street Enforcement on the Overpower attack or whatever. Played a D-React from Arsenal, and then the action armor piece. So got around the Buckle.
Nice.
And then the second one was like a blue unmovable from Arsenal plus I forget exactly what it was, but it lined up. My deck just lined up perfectly against them and was able to squeak it out. Didn't get as much testing as I would have liked to do. I would have liked to maybe like stay longer and test afterwards. Just no one really
Crush
cared
a
and
few
stuff.
more games.
Yeah, you just we don't get much time to do it, but yeah, it was a good day. It's a good day
How
for
about
the
you,
armor.
Bailey?
Yeah, like I said, I was on Azalea. Ended up going like 1 and 3 on the day. Beat Sean on Riptide. It's always fun playing that Ranger mirror right away. Lost to Carter in round 2. Betsy's just brutal.
It was cool when he brought it. I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome.
I don't think he
Did not
missed
see that coming.
a single. Well, I mean, he won all of the wagers, right? Because I mean, what Azalea wants to block. So that definitely wasn't doing me any favors. There was a couple of like key clashes that he ended up winning and stuff like that. Like, I mean, he's going to.
Yep.
But it was fun. And then lost round 3 to Nick on Fi. I haven't seen a Fi in forever. I got lucky with like a round 1 red in the ledger. I think I found another one like round 3, and then they just dried up.
Oof.
And
Couldn't find the third.
if I can't lock Fi down, that's just brutal.
Yeah, that matchup is like you have the tools obviously to like lock the game kind of down, and it feels like pretty free sometimes, but then like other times that matchup's actually pretty close.
Yeah, if you just like can't find those pieces,
Even through some of them, even through a couple
Yeah.
red in the ledgers, you'll still have them hit or whatever, and you just miss on a few turns. They'll just like still go the fuck off.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's rough.
Yeah, Fi still does that thing where they just like do that huge burst damage turn, and it's usually enough when they get there.
Yeah, I think he ended up hitting me for like 26 in like one turn or
Yeah.
something, and just
Yep.
I mean, like
Woof.
chain was like
Oh yeah.
2 feet long.
Yep.
Woof.
And I'm just sitting there like, Jesus Christ. Yep, Fi still does Fi things.
Yep.
But no, it was a good time.
Anyone else play any armories? Cliff, did you get to play any fab this week?
No. The only fab I got in was I played a couple of games at Wesley's last week. And it was just messing around with some decks. Or wait, I think this was even a week before that. I can't remember if this is what I spoke about in the last episode or not. Basically, he handed me my ass for a couple of hours on Dash.io. That's about the most I've had in recent experience.
Yeah, that's tough.
Dash.io is what he's bringing to calling, right? I think he's like working on that list right now.
Is he coming down to the calling?
I think so.
We're really trying to get him to come.
Oh, I could have. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I talked to him about his dash list or
I got
something.
a new player coming to come play.
You?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, no. Yes, me.
Are you gonna come play?
I am gonna play in the call. But I got
no,
a
I
new
mean like come
player.
play at the shop.
He
A new player.
New player, but he's not playing at the shop. He's coming to play at the calling, but it's JC.
Oh, shit.
What?
JC's coming to come play.
At the calling?
At the call-
First time he's ever gonna play is there.
Nah, nobody applauds this man.
I'm just
I know
gonna
exactly
hand
what
him
he's doing.
Fi. I'm just gonna hand him Fi and let him cook.
But he doesn't even know how to play the game.
It's simple.
Okay.
He's gonna crush a
Does
couple.
he
Does he know how to
reason-
play Magic?
He's gonna crush a
No?
couple games with me.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
he's full sending.
This is gonna be good.
He's full sending.
Is Drew going to the calling?
Yeah,
Drew is?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he's gonna
That'll
stay in
be
the house
such a
though.
good time.
That'll be good.
But
He
no,
needs to get
Josh,
down to the
the
shop
only
and play a
reason
couple
you're letting
games.
JC come play at the PQ is you're buying his entry fee so that he gives you all the promos.
Damn right.
Are you not going to be at the Battle Hardened?
Well, I'm gonna play in the call. And
I see
hopefully
what
make
he's
day
doing
2.
now.
I'm
Yeah,
just gonna-
yeah.
That's-
See,
that's
don't
smart,
give him
Cliff.
applause. He's a sneaky bastard.
I see. I should have known. I should have known.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to top 8 the calling and then.
Hopefully.
Oh,
get
and
there.
then get smashed by my janky ass Reinar? Yeah, I'll see you there, buddy.
Dude, I'm feeling good on Azalea. I don't know. I don't want to, run my mouth too much, but I don't know. I feel good about making day 2. I don't know.
I would just try to work on your matchups and like what you're sideboarding. You have
Yeah.
a huge like fucking toolbox of arrows, right?
Yeah, I
And
just
it's,
need
it's
to do
finding
some
the
more
numbers of them and
testing
each of,
into my bad matchups
Yep.
on Talishar.
Yeah, that's
just to get more
important.
comfortable with those, right? Because if you only play the good matchups,
Yep.
yeah, you feel good, but you're like,
That's
what do I do now?
part of like, yeah, part of the testing in Talishar is like, you run into a lot of people only playing the things they're good into. you know, and then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, look, you know, look how good I am. Like if you go look at the results on the on my Tekla list, I think there's like 70 plus games, and there's a ton of my bad matchups I'm trying to play. You know, I got a ton of losses.
Yeah.
on
Oh,
there.
that's why like I really don't put a lot of weight onto like the Talishar
Unless you're
stats,
doing
'cause,
that,
like,
though,
you
or
can
you're
kinda
doing a
just
random
cherry
pairing.
Pick your matches.
Yeah,
if
as
you
long as
want to.
if you're doing a random pairing, you can get kind of the same sort of feel as like a calling or something, sort of, I guess. But if you're like picking your matchups, then there is something to be said about that testing, and maybe if it's like, you know, as concrete as say like random pairings. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you guys want to get into this calling? We just
Yeah.
had the world premiere in Tokyo.
World premiere and
Pretty
calling
wild.
Tokyo.
Top 8
a lot of
was a
good matchups.
draft, right?
Yes.
Top 8 for I think it was sealed.
It was
actually.
a sealed like no, it was a draft for the top 8. They did, I think Swiss was sealed.
Yeah.
And then top 8 was a draft. And I think this top 8, like the pod and what the heroes drafted or what the players drafted hero wise, is what you're going to see a lot. There's 3 news, 3 Zens, and 2 Enigmas. And ultimately Zen won. A player named Oh.
Let's go. Oh.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Let's go.
He took
Represent.
down Michael Fung in the finals. It was a pretty good game. You know, kind of watching some of the gameplay back, like, I kind of have a hot take that, you know, we're so used to these triangle metas in these draft formats. What if there's just, like, not a triangle meta? It kind of seems like any deck can beat any deck is what it felt like.
Yeah.
And some of the mirrors feel like kind of maybe a little, like, snowball-y.
Yeah.
Like the mirror matches, it's kind of depends on maybe who goes first or second, who can kind of like, because there were games that ended with a, you know, one player would be on 20 life.
Yeah.
But then there was also a ton of games
There was
that
a
ended where they were
lot that
they
were,
were
like,
down to
1-1.
one. Exactly. Which makes me just
Dude,
think
if you
like,
end up with that Enigma chess piece,
Yeah.
what is it, like the cloaked? You flip it if you're like on one, and isn't that like a 3-block blade break? Yeah.
an extra 3 value at the end of the game is fucking huge. Gives you an
See,
extra card.
Apart
in
from
hand
this fail is
usually.
giving me a lot of like uprising vibes, where it wasn't really like if you drafted your spot really well, it could have been anybody's game in that table. And Bright Lights never really gave me that feel. Outsiders just felt like
Oh yeah, no, dude. Bright Lights was just like Teklo piles and then
Yeah.
it just didn't feel the same.
You
But
know,
I
I
think
will-
we're getting that.
I will say it might feel a little like Bright Lights in that like all the decks will be fighting for cards like Bright Lights was. If you remember
yeah.
that draft environment, it was like any card is viable in any deck. So
Yeah.
technically you're kind of like fighting for the entire pack.
True.
Not that you'll be fighting for the entire pack because there are class cards and stuff, but the Mystic cards all seem pretty good.
yeah.
Every single one.
So
No,
all
I
3
think
heroes
the
will be fighting for
Only,
those.
like the only one that maybe isn't super viable in draft is Enigma. I can't remember the exact numbers, but there was like a ton of.
I think that was for the
news
sealed.
And
That was
it
like for
on
day 1 and
sealed?
2 and like for the
It was
Swiss
like
rounds.
A ton of news and
Yep.
Zens, and then just like not a lot of Enigmas.
I
But
don't have
think
the
she-
numbers on me, but it was 200 plus I think for both the heroes,
Yeah,
and New
then,
only
like,
had
100
100
something,
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something crazy like that. But she really relies more so on having like the right cards more than the other 2 heroes to kind of do her thing.
Yeah. I think Enigma was like really impressive in the gameplay. It
Yeah,
reminded
the
me
games I watched
It
of her-
reminded me a lot of Dromai. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Like it's a little different on how you establish like the allies, well, the auras, right? But they act as allies sort of when you can pump them up and get the counters on them and then protect them sort of. Like that's exactly what Dromai would do, you know. Well, I guess the difference is you can't attack the auras that just
because the auras don't have Spectra.
Exactly. And that's the issue, which is maybe a little stronger. The idea that you could like attack the dragons meant you could get rid of the dragons. You can't just necessarily get rid of ward whenever you'd like. So it could be a little harder, I think, into Enigma to like deal with their board state, like you know, compared to Dromai. But if watching some of the games over this past weekend, I got some big Dromai vibes. So she leaves and we get another one right behind her, and you know.
So my question for sealed or like draft. Let's say you crack a boxer draft, and we know that they have gold packs. What do you do with the gold pack for draft?
It just gets taken out of the pool.
Does it get taken out and you have to grab from a different box?
No,
I
the gold
thi-
pack
the
is
gold
just
pack is
one
just an
pack at the
extra.
bottom.
I
We
think
should.
it's
I
like
mean,
a-
we can talk about that. I guess we have that on the.
Wouldn't
on the
that be
docket.
the 24th pack?
No,
Or it's
No,
a
it's an
20
extra.
no, it's
It's
an
an extra-
pack that's on the bottom of the box.
Oh.
It just sits there on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
It's like a box topper, and it has one card in it. It's
Uh-huh.
the legendary hero. It's like the variant Enigma.
Yeah.
Enigma New Moon or something. And then there's also a Marvel that is
Gorgeous.
100 of them are made. So
Gorgeous.
for any like set collectors out there, it's gonna be kind of a nightmare. It's numbered in the English set, so
Yeah, good luck, Ty.
I know. I know it's sad.
Well,
If anyone wants to trade a gold foil Dawnblade for a Marvel, yeah, right.
Never
My
know.
argument to Dylan was, hey, there's 100 Dawnblades made, gold foil Dawnblades, and there's 100 Marvel New Moons. Come on, guys.
even trade, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
You know, common, legendary.
Yeah, I know.
Probably about equal.
But yeah, apparently the gold packs are like 1 in 20 or 1 in 24 boxes or something
Yep.
like that.
That's insane.
I know, pretty crazy.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It's kind of like
Having,
that chain
like, a
and prism.
Blitz only hero,
Yeah, the
kind of
fact-
like locked like that.
Yeah, the fact that the
But
hero
the
is
chain and prism ones were just like artist renditions of the actual playable hero. Like this is
Yeah.
a very limited version of a hero. And like, what happens if she's good in Blitz?
she will
like-
be.
Oh, she's gonna be.
Like,
Yeah,
is it
she's
just all
gonna-
the
she's gonna be
pay to
strong.
win whales that take skirmishes on New Moon now, and the ones that can afford to? Like,
Yeah, what do you think the price is on her? Like ends up, it's definitely over 100.
It's over 100 for sure. Like even
Are we
just for
talking
Definitely.
300?
because yeah, it has to.
Would it
be.
pay for the case type thing? Like that'd be kind of
Maybe.
nuts.
I don't know. I mean,
It's a
This
Blitz
is-
hero, right? If it was a CC hero, we'd have a huge problem.
Oh, if it was a CC hero, it'd be an even bigger problem.
So I think that's why they can get away with it. It's a Blitz hero,
true.
you know?
yeah,
It's just like Shyana, right? I mean, there's 2 legendaries you can get in Crucible. She's one of them.
yeah. We're getting another very limited promo hero to Blitz too. That I don't think we talk about Blaze last week. Blaze,
No, I don't think
Firemind?
so. I do not think so.
No,
I'm excited for Blaze.
So far, the only thing we've gotten on her is that she's gonna be like a promo at like conventions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But she's very interested or very interesting. I'm very interested. Sorry. Yeah, no. So she's a new wizard hero. 17 health, which a little bump up from Kano. That'll probably feel pretty nice. And she reads, whenever you opt, put energy counters on Blaze equal to the number of cards looked at this way. And then she has an once per turn instant, remove X energy counters from Blaze, banish a wizard non-attack action card from your hand with an effect that deals arcane damage equal to X. You may play it this turn as though it were an instant. And it has to be equal.
It's a
Like,
mouthful.
I guess I just assumed it was like less than or equal to, but it has to be like exactly.
Right on the nuts.
And this is like a Gen Con type promo or like a convention promo somewhere,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they'll give this to us in
I'm
a
hoping this
different
is
way
a
too.
sneak peek at the arcane set that we're allegedly getting.
The Evos are the biggest tell, I think.
Yeah.
The Evos that Teklo just got and the Mechs just got is like,
Dude,
yeah,
I
you're gonna need it, I
would
think.
pivot to an adult Blaze in CC so quick.
Yeah. Did you guys see the dog mask that made an appearance in the top 8 that they're calling?
No.
I want to try to pronounce this guy's name. I had to give him a shout out. I doubt he listens, but I'm probably gonna butcher his name. But Yoshiki Mizutani, he showed up with a dog mask, and apparently he's like this famous card player over there, and he just does this all the time.
Just shows up with a mask.
Yeah,
or-
I think a
That's
judge
so
maybe asked him
funny.
to take it off or something for the stream because like he started like shuffling and he's looking at his opponent with this mask on.
It's like Brody pulling out the
warfare.
sandwich.
This is better than a ham sandwich.
It
though, I
is.
think, you know,
It is, but
you show up with a mask on, like, oh man,
Why? I don't know.
it was funny.
What's
It was-
the ruling on making him take it off, though, huh?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Again, yeah. What,
Nathan,
maybe he just
weigh in, please.
yeah. Thank you, Nathan. Before we move on to the calling, we should probably talk about what happened with Flake, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
It
sure
was-
a lot of the community has heard. Flake was removed from the cast
for day 3.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he casted day 2 at all or not.
No,
I
yeah,
think he
wasn't it after?
started
It was day
on-
1, right? That it happened.
Yeah.
And then day 2 streams was fine, and then today's stream was.
Well, I think day 2 stream was fine until like halfway through. It was weird.
Oh, okay.
I tuned in
kinda
towards
missed
the
which day it
tail
was.
end of day 2.
Mhm.
But like just scrubbing through it, like it looked like it was up for like half of the time, and then it went down, like just seemingly out of the blue, like right in the middle.
Mhm.
And then I caught the tail end where James White came on to like make the announcement, or not like a major announcement, but he ended up like apologizing to all the parties involved.
Yep.
Condemned what was said, and then ended the stream like immediately afterwards. And now both day 1 and day 2 are no longer listed on their channel, which is kind of a bummer because like there was good gameplay.
I wonder
in
if they'll
it.
just give it to us like
So
cut
I
up.
wonder if we'll get it like cut up with it.
I'm hoping.
Well, it's just tough that this happened during the world premiere
I know.
of the new set.
Yeah.
Like this is
On
this
the
is
live
when
stream.
everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants
Yep.
to see what the cards look
Yep.
like and how they play.
And it
And
was
you
towards
just
like
can't.
happened at all.
it happened like the person it happened to, Yui. She's pretty famous over there. She's like and she's
Is she, like,
championing
an actress or
She's
something?
championing like the game. She actually loves Flesh and Blood apparently, and like it's a shame that it had to go down that way. You know.
Yeah.
It gave me real like thinking about it, and like I didn't really want to dive too much into it before I like actually heard what was said, because all the videos were basically down by the time that I heard about it. And then I got some like transcripts or whatever. Like I read about the actual like words that were said and stuff, and like it was over the line, and it was kind of just like a lame attempt at humor, and like it just made his co-caster uncomfortable. and-
Very unprofessional.
yeah. At this stage, you would think like you would just think like Flake would uphold himself at a higher standard. It gave me real like I don't want to keep comparing like the bad parts of Flesh and Blood to Magic, but like it really gave me old Magic vibes, where like the who's who of Magic, like they didn't treat players, especially like female players, like with respect at all. And there was always like stories and always things that would happen in that community growing up in it, in the 2000s and 2010s and stuff. But
You just hate to see it.
It's a shame, Maybe hopefully there's a path to redemption for him. I hate cancel culture. I think forgiveness is a thing. I also think we need to like take these things serious, and
And I don't want to hate on Flake. I've always been a big fan of Flake,
Yeah,
and he's always done pretty well.
He's
but
also
this
like
is-
championed this game as well, and he's done things for the game that
Nobody else
are
really
positive,
has.
and
Yeah.
his podcast is a big part of it too. Like he's got a platform.
Yep.
Which is why like you hate to see this, like you
Yeah.
said. It's like yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I also think as someone who's been in like casting as long as he has, and like in like that kind of professional environment, like he
You should
should know
know.
better
Yeah,
by that point.
you should know.
Like,
Absolutely.
Like
It's really-
there's no like excusing what he said
No.
or anything like that. And
Yeah, we don't excuse it either. If you see what he said and the things that were said with the other host too,
I
it
think,
just
I've only like seen the transcripts, but it's very like
it's just creepy.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like I said, it's kind of his lame attempt at humor. That's what it seems
Just
like.
not good.
But yeah, let's move on. Definitely wanted to like note on that or touch on that just a little bit, because I know that's going to be the like talk of the town.
Mhm.
Everyone's going to be talking about it, and yeah.
I'm
Hopefully,
a little surprised there hasn't been any sort of statement from
I'm sure they will.
LSS.
LSS is
Yeah,
always
even
very
just,
transparent
like,
with these kind of things.
regarding like the 2 streams being taken down.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get a
but-
statement eventually.
Day 3 was broadcast and is up currently, and I
All the
ended up
games were
tuning
great.
into some of it live, and it was day 3, so it was the draft. I didn't see any of the actual like draft, but the games that I did see were very good.
Yes, I know. Like the gameplay that day or the whole weekend was great. It was really good to see like these new heroes in action, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Carter I think said it best. One of our locals said it best. He said, I hope that like this weekend can be remembered as like a great weekend for this premiere, and not like the weekend that was known for like what happened with Flake and what
Yeah.
because like it should be about the cards. And it should be about the gameplay and these players
and
first.
it was
and
fantastic.
yeah,
like
it was.
watching,
It was incredible.
I know we kind of touched on it with like the sealed portion of it, but all of them look extremely viable, look extremely strong.
Seeing them in action
and
makes me want to play all of them a little bit, or
I
build
think-
something. I had no intentions of building either, none
Yeah.
of these heroes, but
So which one
If
are
you-
you
if you-
drawn towards?
Enigma.
You like Enigma?
Yeah. If
Classic.
you
Just-
haven't
It makes
signed
me
up
feel
for
like it's like OG Prism or
Feel
Super.
that.
yeah.
I feel that.
No, if you haven't signed up for a pre-release yet, go do it. It looks like it's going to be a ton of fun.
Mhm.
I'm super disappointed that I'm going to miss out on most of ours.
Yeah, it sounds like I'll actually be taking
But-
a family trip up north that weekend. If not, though, I definitely will be there. It's still kind of up in the air. Depends on. Well, it's like my dogs.
Well, hey,
an
just pop
issue.
up to Duluth
getting my
and go
dogs
play
up
a
there.
pre-release with Ben.
There are no pre-releases up here, unfortunately. I think there might be one.
Are you
at,
guys still
Level
firing?
Up.
You guys still
I'll have
firing
to
up there in
double-check
Duluth?
that. Not at Globe.
No, I mean just anywhere.
Really?
Not at Globe. Apparently, I think Garrett and some of the guys still get over to Level Up to play, but I just haven't really been able to get over there because the weekends that I would be able to, there was always something back home to go do. So I
Sure.
was always down at Legends doing that.
Yeah.
So I think that might have hurt Globe a little bit for their Blitz Armory. I'm still trying, but yeah. Right now, I think Level Up is just doing like a low-key thing every Friday.
Cool.
Well,
That's
at
cool.
least they're still running it. It's, yeah.
I mean,
You
yeah,
and Wes got to make it out there more, man.
I know.
Take
I
that
should
scene off,
be
or
able
take that
to.
scene off of life support, man. Put some life into it.
It's hard because the weekends that I would be able to go do it, I'm normally already back down at Legends doing some
That
shit
we
down
had a
there.
pretty crazy season to the last couple months with like events back
Oh,
down here and
this has
everything.
been
so.
crazy. This has been like
Mhm.
I've said it before. It's been peak fab for the game itself. It's been peak our shop and our team too. Like it's been like I don't know. This whole month has been crazy. Right from Wes in the first one, from him top 8ing to
Yeah.
Alex top 8ing in North Dakota to me and like just Dylan's top 8 and all.
Yeah, I mean we had
all
what,
of
like
it. It was-
back to back pro quests.
It was wild. RTN season 2 was great.
Yeah, RTNs like right before that, and now we're all getting prepped for callings and battle hardens, and it's been
I think we're incredibly spoiled in the Minnesota
been a-
scene.
We are.
big couple months for not just like the local scene, but just like Flesh and Blood in like the Midwest area
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
But it's been popping off quite a bit.
Well, speaking of pre-releases, you guys want to get in
bigger.
the sealed format? Maybe what we're thinking about this.
Yeah,
This kind of we're switching up for the sealed format this time. We get
I
what
think
is it? It's
what's
8 packs.
packs,
Yeah,
yeah.
8 packs and
Yep.
30 card restricted deck. You have to play 30. No more fatigue. I mean, you can technically fatigue your opponent out, but you'll both be at
yeah,
little
you'll both
cards
be on
at-
like level footing.
for the most part.
Well, yeah, in terms of deck size at least.
Mhm.
Um,
Should be interesting. I'm hoping I can make it for sure. It'll be sad if I can't, but it is on Memorial Day, which sucks. So it's like Memorial Day weekend, right? So like it's, or wait, is it?
no,
It's not on Memorial Day. It's just the weekend.
It's
of it.
that weekend.
Yeah, I always usually do stuff up north on that weekend, so
Same
just lined
here.
up bad for me. But who do we think's gonna come out as the best sealed deck? Because that is different than drafts most of the time, and I think I have a different pick for the draft format.
I think for sealed, I don't know. It's a toss up between like new and Zen. I don't know. I feel like you can't count Enigma out, but I feel like a lot of these limited formats are gonna be a lot of just like new or like Zen piles, of just like good stuff. I mean, there's not a lot of bad cards for any of the heroes in this set,
No.
especially when you are playing in limited.
Mhm.
But I think new and Zen just benefit more from having like no zero blocks.
Yeah.
For sure. And I don't know, watching some of the new gameplay, dude, those hisses and slithers, like you cannot discount them. Like they need to be respected.
No, I think for sealed, I think attack reaction heroes are just OP,
Yep.
super strong. Outsiders,
Look at heavy hitters
Arachne,
format with
heavy hitters with
Kasai.
Kasai. I mean,
Yeah.
it's always been attack reaction heroes. So I think Nu's honestly going to be the stronger sealed deck out of all three.
I was kind of leaning towards Zen just with the amount of damage he can push, and if you're restricted to 30 cards, you can probably like be forced to play the pretty clean Zen deck that's going to be pretty consistent, and you're going to be turning on your crouchings, and that one damage is going to be kind of annoying for anyone. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we see it time and time again with the Kodachis. It's just like,
yeah, I think Zen's going to be pretty strong. We saw this weekend though how like I kind of thought Zen would dumpster Enigmas, and it just, I don't know, it didn't feel like it ever really worked out that way. It just felt like the whole format is kind of wide open, and they all are like, any hero can win any game. Like I said before, it does kind of truly feel like that.
Yeah, I think in limited for sure. In constructed, he absolutely bodies Enigma.
I can see that.
Sean and I did some testing with him on Zen, me on the Enigma list I'm working on, and it was not even close, dude. It like Enigma's really just gonna struggle into anyone that can go wide and start popping her wards. It's brutal.
I truly think Zen is gonna be the like very strong,
but I think
CC hero.
I think he might be our new premier ninja.
I don't know. I actually think he's the weakest of the three in CC, would be my opinion. I think, yeah, I do.
I would agree with Ty.
Isn't his ability just a better Katsu?
Well, actually, Dylan might be onto something when he was like, I'm just going to bring Katsu and do the kitty cat thing and not even, play the new hero. It might just be better in Katsu. Like, who knows? Like, they might just get all these new Crouching Tiger cards.
I mean, we've seen the power.
Limited by the, chi requirement for the ability, whereas, Katsu can just do it whenever he wants to.
The thing is, the zero-cost blues for Katsu, right, are the thing that keep him going. I guess the question becomes, is Zen's weapon, and then him not requiring, he gets to play a lot of good blues with these Mystic cards. A lot of these Mystic cards are actually like really good.
You think Katsu uses?
I don't think
Zen's weapon.
No. I'm saying if they're better than Kodachi's.
Oh, okay.
And then the restriction of having zero cost blues means those blues are just inherently worse than the blues that Zen will play.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the question, because the abilities are similar. And they can play the same combo lines. So, yeah, I guess it just depends on maybe how good your blues are. Katsu's probably just more aggro, obviously.
Yeah, he gets some pretty decent zero cost blues out of this too.
It'll be cool to see people running the kitty cat Katsu again, though. Dylan, I'm sure will definitely bring that deck.
We've already seen the power with Dylan playing it, and it is strong. He just didn't have
it's a true combo
final
deck
cards, but. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yep.
But no, if I'm going to give my take on this bad boy here, in a sealed environment, right? You got how many packs now are we doing for sealed? Is
8.
That's 8. The 8, right? You got 8 packs all to your lonesome self. Out of those 8 packs, I agree with Josh that just attack reaction heroes have always had kind of a leg up on the others. If you get that couple pieces for a decent on hit and you can pump it up over what they throw down to block, I think that gives you a huge edge into what the other decks can do. Draft, I really do think new is probably going to be it again. I think for both draft and sealed, new is probably strongest. When it comes to CC, I'm low-key really spooked about Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
She can do
as much as I love
things.
New, as much as I love New, her play style, her chains, what she can do now. I think Enigma is probably the best CC built. I agree with Ty that I think Zen's gonna be the weakest out of the 3. That doesn't mean I can just ignore him either, because if you look the other way on a ninja, they'll fucking roundhouse you.
Yeah, he's still doing the crazy damage thing that ninjas do.
I don't think he's going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination.
I think he'll have he'll have the least impact of the 3 on the meta, would be my
New
guess.
and Enigma are going to shake things up, because New's got a beautiful selection of cards.
Yep.
Even if she didn't have some of the better Majestics out of this set for her, she would still be very well positioned.
Looking at her pool,
from Outsiders and Dynasty.
Yeah.
She's got tools for days.
I
dude.
know. I was looking at her
Tools for
pool the other day, and I
days.
was like, dude, like all these cards are just good. Like a lot of
Yeah.
them just seem
Yeah.
good. Like you just want to play it. Like most of them is like, damn.
Yeah,
How do you
no,
do
Well,
that?
most of the staples for her too, like surgical extraction. Are you kidding me? That card is insane and
Yeah.
new.
There is not a lot of like quote unquote draft chaff in this set. Like
It doesn't feel like it.
Like,
I suppose some
most
of the
of it-
yellows, right?
yeah, oh yeah. Well,
some of the
yellows
yellows are gonna
always
suck
kinda
because
just,
it's a blue themed deck
whatever.
or set.
But like it really feels like most of these can be played.
I can't wait to draft it.
I'm
We'll set up a draft after release weekend. So
yeah, I'm very excited about this set.
yeah.
I was
I'm
thinking
so
about
sad I can't draft this at a pre-release.
I wasn't too big on it going into like the premiere and everything. Like none of these three classes I've ever really played a whole lot. And after watching some gameplay on premiere weekend, I'm kind of in the same boat you are, where I want to build a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like they all look very fun.
Do you guys think Ancestral Harmony gets like a revamp essentially with Zen?
Oh, that card goes so hard into Zen. It's unreal. Because you play that, it's a blue, so that means that if when you play a Transcend, you get the full effects.
Is that the
from
one
it.
that we all thought was going to be like
Bad.
Katsu's Tome?
Yeah,
basically.
But imagine if
Yeah,
Crouching
joke's on us,
Tiger
it's
had
for
combo
Zen.
on it. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
that'd be sweet.
It doesn't.
They don't. Yeah.
But if it did, it'd be insane. But I think it just plays better in Zen than it does in Katsu.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I don't. Do you think Zen runs Art of
Well, it depends
War,
on how
or
many
do you
combos
think-
he's running, right? Isn't he playing less combos than Katsu? Katsu's playing like all the bond shit.
Well, I mean, most of the Crouching Tiger stuff has combo on it.
Okay. Yeah.
You need
Yeah, I guess
some
it
way
depends.
to create those Crouching Tigers too, which is from the on hits of a lot of the combo cards.
Maybe not. Because Flex Claws doesn't have combo. The only one that really has combo is Unleash or Chi Unleashed.
that card is a house.
But
That
I
card's
don't.
good.
I don't know. I guess aspect of the Tiger.
Played into some more news, man. I've been trying to play into these heroes. Got dumpstered by a Zen on Teklo. Not close. Same problem as all the ninjas, present. I mean,
They just go too wide.
yeah, it's just too much damage, man. It's too many little pokes that I can't really like soak up correctly, and that's what they're good against. They should be good against the decks that can't
Care
really
about
clap back
blocking.
and that care about getting efficient blocks, right? When you're poking for 2 and 1 and
oh yeah, no, dude. Katsu always felt terrible when I was on like old him and stuff like that. Because it's like, well, I have like unmovable and whatnot, but like this is 3 damage. Like,
Unmovable, you're Kadachi because I'm on 1 health.
I played a couple games into Enigma, got dumpstered. Feels terrible for Teklo. So I think he gets worse with Miss Veil, which sucks. But Enigma seems like a problem because I just cannot pressure their life total pretty much ever at the beginning of the game for the first 4 or 5 turns or whatever it is,
If I'm scared of one as Dory, it's Enigma. It's just a problem.
Oh, she probably houses you.
Just a problem.
Yeah, I could see that.
How do you think she holds up on an axe build? Because Dawnblade Dory, Enigma probably crushes. The axe build, that 3rd swing, if they can get it, might be the ticket.
oh yeah,
for
no,
her.
I think Axe build Dory has a better chance into Enigma. Really, like anyone that can go.
Honestly, feel like
wider
that
than,
deck's
like-
not even a real deck anymore. People just aren't
People
playing
have
it as
known how to
much.
play against it, honestly.
Nah, the real Dory deck is the one that does that hot streak shenaniganry.
Never seen that before. I've seen Kasai use it. I don't think I've ever seen a Dory use it. That's crazy.
I thought you played.
No,
You
it
played
wasn't.
one. That's where we heard about it.
No, it was Hatches. I thought maybe it was.
No, Cole.
No,
yeah, I know
you-
Cole.
That's-
Cole was on Hatches.
I thought he was on one Saber and
You
a
played
hot
a-
streak.
you
Oh, that was the
played a
RTN
Dory
before.
that-
You're
Yeah.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Oh my
Yeah.
god, he ruined my day.
That guy
I was supposed
was-
to top 8
that
that
guy was
tournament.
cooking.
Shout out Cole.
That guy
You're
was
like, what do you mean?
cooking
I was
with
like,
that
Cole-
list.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Hey, I didn't get cooked too hard. Easy there, Lucian.
no,
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
No, he just came out of
He
it
just
a little
cooked me
medium
soft
rare.
boiled. Yeah, medium. I was a little medium rare coming out.
Nah,
It was-
you were well done. You got a house.
No, dude.
Just a little red.
My meat was juicy still, dude.
Well, hey yo.
Hey yo.
Well,
Anyways,
we do have a few other spoilers that we didn't cover our last episode.
We can talk about the Fable. The Fable
The
got
Fable,
released.
we have the legendary Mystic Head.
I also misread that, Josh.
We never... Yeah, it flips.
Well, no. Oh, yeah, the Mystic Head. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm talking about the Fable. And we can talk about the head, too. But the Fable...
you got it pulled up still?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Do
It
want me
is
to read it?
a one-cost Mystic Instant landmark. I think that's pretty cool that it's an instant landmark.
Yep.
Called Mist Cloak Gully. It is got the keyword legendary. It says the first attack that targets you each turn gets -1 attack. At the beginning of each end phase, destroy this unless you've pitched, played, or defended with a blue card this turn. If you've pitched, played, and defended with a blue card this turn, transcend.
Keyword is each end phase.
Yes. So you have to... So this seems... Okay, like on second read... Also, the second part of this, the if you've pitched, played, and defended. So you have to do all three to transcend it, not just one, because of the word and.
Yep.
If it said or, then it would be a lot easier to transcend this. So I actually think it's pretty challenging to transcend this index outside of maybe Enigma. I think Enigma loves this card.
Yep.
I think this is a
Prism,
great Enigma
which is
card.
tough.
Yep.
Yeah, we just got another illusionist fabled.
Yep. Yep.
Also, like, it's pretty easy to just like pitch a card or defend with, or pitch a blue card and then defend with a blue card. Like you just run into the cycle where you're pitching blues on your turn and you're defending.
Illusionist also has the blue. I think it's a 3-cost D-react.
Yeah.
So you've already fulfilled 2 of the 3 requirements.
When you land this, it just sticks around forever because it checks on each end step.
No. Yeah, you play the D-react in Enigma and it just transcends there because you pitch to play the D-react. Then you've played it and defended.
Yeah.
Well, it's also half of Enigma's cards are instants. So you're playing them to ward and prevent damage.
Yeah, the
So
play. I think the
pitching.
play is going to be the key.
Yeah.
Playing a card is going to be the key because it'll require you to have an instant or have the blue D react. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love this. I think the power level is like, it's pretty good for compared to some of the fables we have. It's right up there, you know. It's no library of Solana or anything, but I think this is pretty powerful.
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't think it's gonna be like a staple.
Oh, I think
in, like,
Enigma
any
plays
deck.
one of these.
I think
it's pretty free in Enigma to just add this to your deck. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that it's instant is pretty sweet.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you were attacked on Enigma and someone popped your ward to trigger Celestial Kimono, you could then use that resource to instant this out, right?
Oh yeah.
That's kind of a wild cycle right there.
I just like it when you said backdoor resource.
Yeah. And then we got the Mystic headpiece as well. It's extended art.
Yep.
It looks like
Beautiful
just out of the
looking card.
box. It looks very good.
I know.
Traverse the universe. It's a 2-block blade break. When it defends, search your deck for an inner chi, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Which seems interesting. I don't know. It's just like a, defend 2, tutor up 3 resources.
That helps with your instant abilities
And then
on
with
your hero.
Enigma, like you could, I guess, just shit out another shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems strong. The other
But
mask too.
I think Enigma I think Enigma really just runs Diadem though over anything.
Really?
Diadem feels
You bought that
pretty
at the
good.
perfect time.
I really did. I really did.
That thing go up in price, huh?
Getting that ponder
two.
can really help on some turns. Yeah, picked up my fancy extended art cold foil for like $20 or something like that.
Some of these armor pieces seem strong. I do want to say,
but yeah, no, getting that ponder really helps with some of those turns where you really are defending pretty heavily.
also like the assassin mask is fucking so strong. Yeah, like playing against that in new is just like, oh my god. You always have to be wary of that card, and it always just threatens like just a chi. Like they just play some stupid instant, and haha, they rip a card from your hand. Like it's incredibly frustrating. The fact that it's not an instant. Is it an attack reaction?
It's an attack
Okay.
reaction,
Yeah, it's
which
a
also
reaction
helps
step.
with her. I can't remember I think it's a Majestic that cares about how many attack
There's a couple.
reactions she's
Yeah,
activated.
I think there's a few things they play that care about however many attack reactions.
I want to say it's like 3 or something that you have
That's
to
the good
activate
one.
For...
Yeah.
Do
For
you
that
think,
one Majestic, yeah.
Do you think Crown of Reflection might be used ever?
I think there's an
Enigma?
argument to use Crown of Reflection because it just replaces an aura at some point.
Because couldn't you just destroy
Is that the one with AB?
Spectral Shield?
I think it does have AB.
Yeah.
Yeah, AB one.
No, I don't think you can destroy a Spectral with it.
It just says destroy target illusionist aura you control.
Yeah, but then it says something about a cost.
Yeah, but the shields
Doesn't it?
don't have a cost.
It
Oh.
says you may put an illusionist aura from your hand in the arena with cost less than or equal to the aura destroyed this way.
Spectral shields don't have a
Spectral
cost.
Shield
Oh,
doesn't
you're
have a
right, you're
cost,
right.
so
You're right.
I had a question about Spectral Shields for you boys.
it does have AB though, which could be useful into some matchups.
I'm sure she'll have it in the list.
Oh yeah.
As an Enigma, you probably want this.
Just as a sideboard piece,
Yeah,
potentially.
for sure.
Yeah.
You run this into
Yo.
Kano?
Are Spectral Shields tokens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can discard a Ripple Away to negate a Spectral Shield creation?
Depends on how they're creating it. If it's like from Enigma, no. It has to be an action, I think. It's come up a few times where Ripple Away was like really good for me. And the day I made quarterfinals at PQ, my Ripple Aways were on fire. And like all season they sucked. And for some reason that day, it was just like they were so good. It was hitting KOs and negating their tokens.
Yeah, it
and
has to
hitting
be
Mordred
created
Tides and-
from an action card.
Yeah, if it's created from Enigma,
Okay.
you can't.
So there's, I think, like one card on my list right now that it does hit. I can't remember what it is.
You guys notice the crouching tiger, or like the tiger in the art, kind of sitting on the outside of the little encampment there, or whatever that is. Like they gave us this card. Was it last set or 2 sets ago? When
Yeah.
was it? Heavy hitters.
I think
That
it
was last set.
Was that a heavy?
Yep.
Yeah.
They were totally preparing us for this for Misveil with the utility that card specifically has into all these Misveil heroes.
They're
Sneak
always doing
peeks.
shit like
It's
this.
crazy.
Sneak peeks,
It's good
man.
into all 3 of them.
Always.
You catch
Because
someone.
that also
Blessing of
negates the
Spirits.
new creation, right? For her attack reaction tokens? The snake bite?
No, because
for the
they're.
false
You
bottom
mean
of
off of her
Overgun?
armor and stuff?
No. When new plays the attack reaction, Hiss, I think, that
Yes.
gets her the venomous bite.
I would.
You can negate the venomous bite.
I would guess
Or
no
the
because
one that
it's
gives
not
gold.
an action card.
It's a reaction.
Ripple Away says
Yeah,
like.
it's only-
Oh,
it
that's
says
right.
only from
Yup,
action
yup,
cards.
Okay.
So yeah,
It's
like for
honestly-
Enigma, like it can fuck up my Blessing of Spirits, right? Because instead of like 3 Spectrals, I just get the 1.
Ripple Away has some utility into
But-
Enigma, I would assume. It hasn't really come up much. I need to test more into them, obviously. But Ripple Away is just kind of like a counter spell into certain cards and decks. It's pretty cool. It has utility. It's also just a
Yeah,
blue block
it's
3.
really good into the Runeblade matchup, I can imagine, for like their
Mhm.
revels and stuff like that.
Yep.
Basically just says, fuck you.
Yep. Yep. Guy played a Mordred Tide, and I played a Ripple Away in response. So it's kind of fun.
That really does just negate the Mordred.
You know. I caught a couple KOs that day slipping with agile windups too, playing on my M phase, and I would just discard Ripple or instant speed, discard Ripple Away. So we just trade card for card, and it just does nothing.
Oh, that would hurt.
Oh no,
so bad as a
it comes
KO.
up. It comes up a lot.
Oh, I
Well, it
bet.
doesn't come up a lot. It comes up, frequently to matter into KO. That's why the card's pretty good and just solid as it blocks 3 too. So
Oh, yeah.
I mean, shit.
Well, there was one more spoiler that we forgot to kind of cover as we went over Living Legend.
Mm-hmm.
It's an expansion slot.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Dust from the Stillwater Shrine.
Yes.
It's a draconic illusionist action, Ash. Material, while this is under a permanent other than Miragai, that permanent has Phantasm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Josh, I have a question for you. Which Draconic Illusionist can use that?
You know, the only one that is in existent and is out of the game and in Living Legend.
This is the first
So-
time this ever happened, right? Besides
Yeah,
Duskblade,
well-
but Duskblade doesn't count because they
I
preemptively
think
banned
with how new the whole like expansion slot thing is too, like there hasn't been much of a chance for it to come up before.
it. Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it is coming up, like,
I think it puts into question just the LL system as a whole. I actually think. Well, do you want to read the card before we? I mean, it's just an Ash for Miranda.
yeah, Josh just
I
read
just
it, but
did.
I can
Oh, my
reread
bad.
it
My
if
bad.
you want me to.
Stony Baloney over here. Fucking A. But yeah, like if you guys remember, they upped the ProQuest points before last season. And then Dromai
Went on a tear.
Dromai went on a tear and LL'd. And without upping the points, I'm sure she's actually still around, and this card is relevant and whatever, like they intended.
And now we're back to lowering the points again. They announced it, I think, late last week.
Yep.
Well, how many times have we, like in history, can you guys remember that they've adjusted the points and stuff?
Three
or four times that I can remember.
I remember with
it was
Lexi.
Like right before Lexi.
They upped it to make sure Lexi would push that line.
There was...
I want to say it might have happened with Icelander too or something.
I think it did.
It might have.
Or that might have just been that season with Lexi, or I guess I'm forgetting. It definitely happened with Starbo.
Yep.
And then like this last adjustment, it definitely makes sense when you look at their reasoning in terms of like the number of events being ran nowadays. It's obviously increased, and maybe it's exceeding their expectations just in terms of number of events. But yeah, you look at KO sitting at that 500 mark
after one season.
I think LSS had to put the brakes on it and just switch things up again and just change it a little bit. It's kind of my take on it. They don't want players to invest in this deck, and especially the Armory deck coming out feels real bad to like buy that as a new player and then
LL'd in like 2
you don't
months.
even have a year to play it or something like. But it begs the question, and I think about it a lot. I love the LL system. I think it's unique. I think it's a great system the way it's set up.
I think it's a very interesting alternative to having like actual set rotations.
Yes.
And it definitely does.
I hope
keep
they
the
can.
card pool
I hope they can stay
alive.
I hope they can like keep this system in place. I love it.
I would hate to go to some sort of like set rotation system.
I just wish that we would get the numbers down right. It feels like these adjustments are usually covering up just like design mistakes, and I'm not a freaking card designer. Like they do an incredible job at designing this game. I just want to get in a spot where like the integrity of the LL system is upheld, and it doesn't feel like it's being upheld right now to me. And then like this card kind of screams that.
I think when you've had to make as frequent of adjustments to it as LSS has, like there obviously is some flaws with the system, and I don't know, they just need to work it out.
I suppose we should also go over the point changes and read off how many points each thing is now. World Championship went from 300, if I remember, to 100.
I actually love that.
Pro
They
Tour
dropped it by 200.
Yes.
points.
Worlds for
Holy
a third of the points for a hero is wild to me.
We do
one
also,
third in one tournament.
We do also
300
have
points is a
3
lot.
heroes that are also at like 700 and above. So if either one of them wins, they're gone.
Well,
they're
not
out.
anymore.
Well, yeah,
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
But Pro Tour went to 100 from I think 200, right? And
Seems like they halved a lot of them.
Callings went from 100 to 50.
I actually love that change as well.
That's a good change. US Nats is at 50 from 100.
Well, yeah, because it's based on event size for like
Yep.
callings and stuff, isn't it?
Yes. The national championships is just non-US now. It's not like size anymore, and those are 25. Battle Hardens 25. Pro Quest Plus 5. Pro Quest 5. Road to Nationals 5, and skirmishes are 5. And those all went from 3 to
But
5.
so they
I think.
increased those
Yep.
while lowering the majors. And I actually think the top heavy points didn't really make sense. Like, you do run into these issues, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. Maybe they get the numbers in a spot where they don't need to keep changing them, and they get them in this like concrete like spot where we can expect.
I feel like a lot of them were at this point before.
Exactly. We might have been at these point
not,
levels at some point
maybe
in
not
history.
like Worlds and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think Worlds has always been like that 300 mark. Same.
I wonder.
It has been. I think it's always been concrete at 300 because when
I
Icelander
think
won,
this is
she
the
got
first
300.
time that they've changed the points for winning Worlds.
And I think callings, like the Pro Tour calling and Worlds, they've all changed those now.
I thought no, No, I think
Battle
they have,
Hardens
yeah,
went
Battle
up to
Hardens
40.
They have changed before.
They went up to 40 from like.
I think the Battle
20 or
Harden
something.
point changes were what got Lexi.
Mm-hmm.
I think she went out on Battle Hardens.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait to play some Living Legend. Speaking of
LSS,
like,
please let us sanction events.
let
for
us
Living
just play
Legend.
at our armories already. You know, we have a format now. There's heroes. I mean, I believe they're gonna fix the format. They're not gonna keep it with all these cards restricted and like hamstringing Starvo the way that he is. If you guys remember the last LL, what was it? A Battle Harden or a Calling or something? There was 0 top 8 Starvos after the restrictions. So
Yeah.
there's, they have to do something to fix it. But I just want to play Living Legends so bad. And it's going to be a good format, and I truly believe that at some point.
I think the best fix would be to just remove Starvo from the format.
No, you have to have some form of him. You have to. Maybe you just like restrict his big dumb attacks. You give him 1 Starstruck, 1 Crippling, 1 Oakenold, right? So like that's your set of huge attacks. You can still set up your fuses with other things and stuff. They're just, I don't know. There's got to be a way to give us a more balanced format. It doesn't feel balanced, Not that it should, right? I don't think it should.
No.
Maybe that defeats the purpose, but yeah, that kind of does it for the LL segment, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
don't know.
does.
I do agree with like a lot of the changes they've made to it this time
Yeah,
around, but it
me
just
too.
like we need to stick with something.
Exactly. We've
feel
been
like
increasing and
I-
decreasing so much over the years. It's
I
hard
would
to,
hate to see it change again within the next like year or so. And yeah, I don't know if it's their way of trying to have like a hand in the meta or what, but we just need consistency. Like I think allowing players to kind of plan around a set amount of points, right? If you look at someone and it's like, oh, so and so's at 700 points, and who knows, like if they win Worlds now, or like what if LSS bumps it back up to like 300 in 6 months, and yeah,
yeah.
that's my little rant though.
That about does it, I think, boys. You want to get into some questions?
Let's
Cliff,
do
did
it.
you have anything last things to say about the LL system?
Not
changes?
really.
Okay.
I do think the changes are good because it does, like you said, feel bad just seeing KO get released on heavy hitters and him being halfway there.
Yeah, it's pretty
That
wild.
is kind of a feels bad moment because this was like the first good brute, and he might have just been a little bit too quick. But we'll see how it changes up. It would also feel really bad if like one of the Misfail heroes just comes into the meta and once again just gets halfway there in a couple of months.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right. Sweet. Let's get into some of these questions, boys. We have Illiterate Lawyer asking, I guess we kind of answered this one. We can maybe go over it a little bit again. But he said, can we get a Misfail meta prediction or a Nats meta prediction once the set officially releases?
Yeah, I think we did Mistvale pretty well.
Yep.
We can do some like Nats predictions though.
I think Enigma's going to have a real impact on the format. I think it might take some time maybe for people to figure the deck out because she is a Enigma, one may say.
Yeah, I think this Nats at least. My prediction is KO
Yeah.
for now.
Yep.
I think
seems right.
I think you're on the right train though. Like once people start figuring out Enigma, she's gonna be a problem for KO.
Yeah, I wonder how that matchup goes actually. KO
Maybe-
pushes a lot.
maybe he
KO pushes a lot of damage.
though.
It's a lot of damage, Tony.
Maybe she's not. I mean, Guardians were kind of Prism's worst matchup, weren't they? Like
Yes.
Just popping. But I feel like you're not really like popping attacks.
No,
and
sorry.
you don't have
Prism was
Phantasm.
Guardian's worst
Yeah.
matchup.
did I have that backwards?
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, like Guardians didn't really push a lot of damage. It was like, I mean, they did. It was just one big swing.
Yeah.
The multiple
KO kind of
things
spreads
might-
it out though, and they're
might
still
be an issue.
big swings.
Yep. Huh? I wonder.
I guess you could say KO really swings big.
I think KO's obviously
Thank you, Josh.
the ST. I totally missed that. My bad.
I got it right off the rip.
Really puts his money
think
where his mouth
Clifford
is.
No, I definitely got it. I just wasn't going to give that the attention he thought it deserved.
Come on.
Oh, come on,
That was
man.
perfect.
Nah, homie.
But no, I think KO is S tier, right? Going into Nats. I think
Yeah.
the A tier heroes are, you've got your Azaleas, Victor, I think, is gonna have some sort of presence.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have really figured out Victor now, and he's pretty solid. He's kind of like the same as KO. Like, he's just consistent with like what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's just not as good as KO.
Yep. What other heroes do you guys think are kind of up there for Nats, like in terms of like percentage wise? I guess obviously
I think we're going to see
brutes in
a high
general.
density of
Yeah.
Prism.
Honestly, I'm gonna ride the Dylan train and say Katsu. With these new upgrades with the Crouching Tiger, I think
With these upgrades, you never stood a chance.
I think he might be a little bit better into the meta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to use the cards though, you kind of have to rebuild the whole deck. So it depends on like if the Tiger build is better than his
I mean, if
Bonds
people
build,
can figure it out.
or maybe you do some hybrid
Quick
like Tiger
enough.
Bonds build or something.
I think you can. I mean,
Well, that's
I
the
don't see
idea
why.
of how he can go tutor for anything he needs in any
Exactly.
time, like any specific time. So he could probably do both plans. Who knows?
I mean, instead of
knows?
running
I
like
don't know.
your
I
Lord of Wind, Lord of Wind combo is still there with your whole Dishonor plan, but I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe this battle hardens Dylan's to take, man. He's had that like kitty Katsu figured out for a while.
It's just gonna show up with it and just wreck.
That'd be amazing. I cannot fucking wait for Nats.
I guess you
boys.
could
It's
say
going
I'm
to be
not on the
incredible.
Katsu train. I'm on the Dylan train. Let's go, Dylan.
Let's go. But yeah, I mean, I guess that I hope that kind of answers your question, Zach.
Yeah.
Um,
Should we go to Sully's?
yeah, where's his?
Yeah. Sully
ahead.
asks, if you had to play one of the 3 new heroes, who would you play for a major tournament? Enigma.
Zen. Final.
Yeah, it'd probably be Enigma.
No, Enigma, all the way. I
probably
think she's
be
gonna be
Enigma.
super strong. She really just fills that hole that Dromai left.
Yep.
Then,
We have one from the Bald Wonder. It says, what do you guys do to get your minds off of personal struggles or issues before going into a tournament? It's a good
No
question.
thoughts, head empty.
It's a good question. But yeah, kind of, I guess what Cliff said, that's true though. You just have to kind of go in and like set all that shit aside if you want to like try to perform well, It's tough.
yeah,
It's
It
tough
is.
when shit's going on in life and you're going to these things. And I mean, that happens to the best of us,
Life happens.
yep.
But set
You-
things aside and put your mind to it.
You got to remember this is like a luxury card, like
Yeah.
hobby, like card games and TCG, like collectible card games. It's like
let's set it aside. Play the deck you enjoy. And
yeah. Yep. You just have
Hope
to
you do
appreciate
well.
it for what it is. Just
Yeah.
leave that shit at the door,
It's a great way to put it.
Try your best.
Kind of
Two at
segues
least.
into Wes's question.
Wes has got a really good question because I've actually been thinking about this a lot lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of coming out of this competitive season, like taking it way more serious than I ever have, and actually seeing results. Fucking finally, right after. I've been thinking about this a lot. But Wes asked, "How do you weigh personal enjoyment of a deck versus actual competitiveness of a deck when it comes to large tournaments?" Cliff, I want you to answer this first, and then I'll get into my take eventually here, but. Because I know you actually are on the opposite, where you will just like take anything you enjoy, and like just play
Yeah,
that over
so-
fucking anything, that is competitive.
That's if I find like a mechanism that just itches my brain the right way, it just kind of nags at me to play it and try to figure it out. So I play the decks I play because I either like the aesthetic of it, I like the mechanisms it utilizes. But I don't know. Like, I do recognize that there is a lot of meta decks that are better than whatever I'm cooking up. But, like KO. KO's a great deck. I've had some fun playing in the games
arguably
I've
like
had.
the
but-
best deck
It
in the
is the
format
best deck.
right now.
Well, yeah, kind of like at calling, you said you're gonna probably play Rhinar, right, instead of KO. Which, like, I mean, they would probably say you should be on KO, but you're probably gonna show up with Rhinar, right?
Well, that's the other thing. I don't know who the fuck I'm showing up with at
Ooh,
Nats.
okay.
I'm up in the air on that.
Cool.
But yeah, I want to do good and I want to win, but I also want to enjoy the ride there. I could pick up a KO deck and probably have a shot at top 8ing. Not to toot my horn or anything, but I know Brute. It wouldn't be that difficult, but it's just, I don't know. I like the Rhinar, like, oh, I'm going to intimidate a hand and then flap, smack the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing my little shenaniganry with the Toma Faendal with scab skins. Like, I don't know. I love it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I will say, when you are able to get off that Toma Faendal turn with Rhinar, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Like,
That hurts.
It's backbreaking if it lines up right.
Toma Fendal gain life, then you just drop a Blood Rush Bellow and just screw somebody even more.
I swear, I can't
Just a
remember
hose
if it
of
was
someone.
UPF or if it was one of the CC games, but I swear at the Armory this weekend, someone gained like 7 life off of a tome.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, that
if
was
it
me.
was anyone, it was probably.
Was it you?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I took a bunch of damage and then I just gained
It
7
wasn't the
because
UPF,
I
wasn't it, with
drew a
Shyana?
bobble. I got a bobble from Sean and then I drew a card off his Silver Palms and then I played Tome off of like a tunic counter. So I gained like 1,000,000 life because I had like however many cards in hand or something.
Oof.
It was fucking wild.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's gross.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's my take on it. I have to enjoy a deck to try to do good with it.
I'd have to argue the same. Like, I'm on the same side as Cliff. I've never really been like a meta deck player. Don't really like playing meta decks, to be honest. I just like the flavor of certain decks, like Dory.
Mm-hmm.
When has Dory ever been top of the meta?
Right now. She's not top of the meta, but
No.
she's
She's
a
up
viable
there.
deck.
She's a
she's a B
viable
plus
deck
or
now,
A minus deck, I think.
But like before then,
yeah.
I'd bring her to PT
Oh, yeah.
just to have fun. I don't know. I get enjoyment playing fun decks that I like to play than a deck just trying to learn it
Yep.
to play well.
Yep.
No matter what. I don't know. That's just my take on it as well.
Yeah.
I know some people like to play the competitive, like playing the meta deck. I just think home brewing a deck and then doing well and having success with it is a way better payoff than building off of somebody else and
Yep.
going from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think like you said, if you can do both, that's like when you can really hit that sweet spot in a TCG. And honestly, like I'm always one to like try to build my own decks and stuff and not go off of like meta decks and stuff. But when I'm going to these tournaments, I will tend to not necessarily care about that as much. I just so happened to get lucky this season because I built the Tekla deck from scratch, and it also is just like I truly think it's good and I performed well with it. So I have that combination of both, which is why I think this has been such like a, I don't know, uplifting fucking season for me. It's been just a great couple months just in terms of fab. It's just like rejuvenated my fab spirit, honestly. But yeah, I took a chance this season, to be fair. Like, I was going to play Azalea. I probably should have played Azalea. Maybe, who knows, I may have won one on Azalea. She's a strong choice right now. I've put in a lot of reps with her. But I kind of went with the enjoyment thing. And then, with the amount of... Yeah, it just paid off with the amount of reps I had into it. And I do truly believe in the deck. I think that's really where what it boils down to. I built the deck from a competitive standpoint, whereas people would look at him and be like, that deck's not competitive. And I looked at it and was like, how do I make this competitive? And that's kind of, what I ended up with. But yeah.
How about for you, Bailey?
My stance on it has kind of like flipped very recently. Definitely in the past, like going into like these bigger tournaments, I really was just bringing like whatever deck I was enjoying at the time. Like whether it was, I know I played a couple on Icelander, some on like very suboptimal builds of Azalea, but builds that I had built and were having fun with. And I think coming out of this season, I definitely leaned more onto like the competitive side of Azalea, and
I noticed that
like,
too, Bailey,
meta-decked
for
it.
sure. Even though you only made one, you still were like,
I only made it to
gung-ho.
one, but I definitely like I wasn't like happy with how I ended up, but I definitely put up better results than I have in the past. And I think that definitely has a hand in kind of changing my stance on it, going into like these larger events and things like that.
yeah, I'm happy that you are semi-locked on Azalea.
Yeah, I will be on Azalea
Oh,
for
yes.
yeah.
Good.
We all know what locked means for me.
Yeah, we should wait and see. That does it for our listener questions. I actually
Bolton.
off of Wes's question though, I do want to kind of pose you guys like one question, just kind of get your take on it, and then we can say goodbye to everyone. But I have been thinking about just competing in general a lot, and like why do you compete? Why do you enjoy competing? I guess is the question I'm getting at. I played a lot of sports, and it translates into TCGs. You know, I get a lot of shit for liking sports at our shop. It's kind of funny because we're in a fucking sports shop. It's like, guys, look around you. What the fuck? But it does translate. The competitiveness of it and testing yourself against like the next man, and just to see, you know, it's you know. Well, I guess let's get your guys' take before I want to dive in. Why do you compete, and like what does competing mean to you guys?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of similar to that. Like I grew up playing sports in a fairly like competitive way.
Yep.
And even like later on in life playing like even like video games, like very competitive. Some of them, I don't know, we have played at a pretty competitive level and stuff like that.
Nice.
And this just kind of scratches that itch where like I can play it competitively and like play a game at that like higher, like upper level of play, but also still get like that social interaction of like competing face to face. I don't know. For me, it kind of like meshes like the aspects of like the socialness of competing in like a sport with like the excitement of like competing in some kind of like game.
Yeah. 100%
and it
agree.
really like meshes that well together for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a lot of enjoyment out of it in that way.
Yeah.
I will say sports for like me as well, but I don't know. For me, it's like a little bit different because I grew up playing golf. Like, yeah, you're on a team, but you're
Kind of competing against yourself.
You're
though,
so
right?
Yeah.
100%, and you're battling your own like mental challenges and like.
That translates.
This game is very mental.
Translates
like
a lot to TCGs.
So
yeah.
when I first started playing card games, and like, yeah, we just started playing in the basement, and I love playing with like Bailey and Cliff, but I was like, why don't we step out of the basement and like just go play other people?
Yeah.
Nothing
And we
against
kinda,
like you guys,
we
and it
kinda,
was
like, met you at just the right time for that.
I know, and I was just getting out of like golf, like from college and stuff like that, so I didn't really have anything like super competitive, and this just was like kind of filled that itch.
Yeah.
So.
I think
For
we
me, it
all
was just
kinda
like
found the game at the right time.
yeah, and I'm glad that we did.
Yeah.
Brought us all
Absolutely.
together.
Cliff,
Met
what's
a lot
your
of
take?
Very great people through it,
Oh yeah.
except for Ty.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh hey, I didn't know this was on still.
I thought I muted it, huh?
Never mind. The fact
My
that I'm
answer for
sitting
you,
across the table.
Ty, would probably have to be I've always been very competitive.
Yes, you have.
But
Cliff.
like
Which you and I always.
I try
good
to do
games.
it in like a fun way though.
Mhm.
Like I really want to win, but at the same time you have to acknowledge that if you want to win that bad, there's always the chance you can lose.
Absolutely. That's
So
what I'm
are you
trying to teach my son.
What are you gonna learn from that loss? I've gotten my teeth kicked in quite a bit playing this game.
Mhm.
You learn something every time. Every time.
Dude,
Yep.
I
And-
used to take losses in Fab so hard.
Yep.
Like unbelievably hard. Like I definitely would let it like get into my head and like affect my mental state heading into like game 2 or 3 or whatever it was. And
Just snowballs.
yeah.
Yeah.
And really now looking back on like what I've taken away from those losses has definitely like helped with that, and coming at it from more like that aspect, like you were saying, like what can
Yep.
I learn from this?
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
like Cliff was saying, though, I mean, the greatest saying that I heard coming into Fab was like, I went to my first armory, and the guy's like, "You're not bad." He's like, "You played well," and I was like, "Well, it's my first TCG. I don't know anything much." And he's like, "Bro, you got to get your teeth kicked in before you learn how to walk. Like, you got to get punched down before you can get up and actually play."
It's actually so true in this game too. Like compared to other games, especially.
Oh, yeah.
This game is has a very like steep hill to climb at first.
Yeah. And I don't know if Ben shares any like the same frustrations, but like especially like getting into it too, like coming pretty fresh off of like Magic and having to learn like a completely new style of like playing
Yep.
TCGs. Like, I mean, it definitely helps in like some aspects with knowing like just generally how the games are played, but like getting used to that like fighting style of game versus like, hey, like I need to establish a board here and like do all of this stuff. Like it.
Like Cliff was saying, it really boils down to like, well, it kind of goes back to Wes's question of like, how do you pick from like your enjoyment, or competitive.
I enjoy competitiveness.
Well, right. Like I said, if you can mix the two, then you're in a really, really good spot. Like I mean, I said it before with Teklo. Like I just, I was winning with the deck in testing, and I was like, well, okay, if this testing means anything, this should translate. It's good. My testing says it's good, and then like I brought it, and it
How
was
nervous
and it was
were
good.
you
I was
bringing it to
so
the
fucked, dude.
first
You do not
PQ?
even understand. I was so fucking nervous. I thought I was gonna. I went 4-2 and bubbled. Like I was like, I felt so good. That was like a win for me, dude. And not top 8ing was fine. I wasn't even like upset.
Just happy
like,
with it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I was like, dude. I was like, the deck's real. I was like,
It's
so
actually
validated, But yeah, I got to like meld the two. Like I enjoy the deck. I built the deck, and it also is competitive. And I look at Fab now, where I'm going to these PQs, and I look at them as, a very, very competitive player. I want to win these things. I want to do well. I want to prove myself. And I guess at the end of the day, like
That's a very like recent change for I think most of us too.
Yes.
Like getting into that like competitive
Our
scene.
team,
I think
you
the
mean?
whole like
Yeah.
shop, like the whole team is kind of leveled up in that aspect.
Yep. Or in the process of it.
Say
right?
what you will, me and Sean still champion Riptide.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
Yeah.
Riptide's not in a terrible spot right now.
Okay, like I think he has good matchups. He definitely can beat some decks. I just don't think he can beat the top decks.
I don't
Maybe
know.
Azalea, right? He probably has a decent matchup into Azalea.
Yeah, I think a Riptide into Azalea is more like closer to 50-50.
Is it?
Yeah,
You beat Sean, right?
I did beat Sean.
Yeah.
It really depends on whether or not they can get the right like traps, and like a lot of their go again traps just don't trigger on Azalea.
Yep. But yeah, so finishing up this question though, yeah, ultimately, do you want to have fun at these events, or do you want to compete and like do well?
I think you just
Fuck
gotta
your
find a way to do
question.
both.
I choose both.
Yeah,
Because if you got me this time, I got you next time, bitch. I'll see you on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, we are competing at these things, right? And we are testing ourselves against the next man or person or player, whatever. And someone's going to be victorious, and it's the proving yourself at the end of the day. That's like why we do this thing, and yeah, it's crazy how much it translates and how much you see competitiveness just throughout life in general.
Yeah.
Especially
really,
in card games.
To be good at Flesh and Blood, you really got to learn to take it on the chin.
Oh God, here we go. It must be the end of the episode. Jeez, here we go.
Wow, Cliff's terrible puns really do herald the end of the episode, don't they?
You could say it was
I am
a
the bringer
herald
of
of
the
triumph.
I don't know if it's a triumph,
Womp
though.
Oh, come on. I finally had one. You guys just shit on my parade like that?
They can't all be good.
Is that all you got?
Man, okay, so totally off topic. But you can I just started playing Helldivers 2.
Yep.
Like the other day, and like one of the first things you do is you have to name your destroyer, and there's like a whole like scroll wheel, like two sides of it, and you have to, or you like get to like scroll through that whole thing, find a name for your ship or whatever. And I settled on Herald of Retribution.
Nice.
I like saw that combo in the list, and I was like, "Fuck yes!" Like this is, or I think it's Herald of Redemption.
Oh, okay. I don't even know. That's not a card, is it? The Retribution is a card.
I think it is Retribution.
Herald of Retribution?
Yeah,
Is that a card?
I think it is Retribution.
Yep.
I should know I'm a prison player. No, I'm not. I'm not a prison player.
Not anymore. You haven't been for years.
Oh, what am I saying?
Look, all I have to say is one thing about this episode. Some keywords. Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything, would you capture it or would you let it sleep?
I don't know. Going into these tournaments, I don't know. Most of the time, my knees are pretty weak.
Arms are heavy.
Okay. All right, boys. Let's get the
Vomit
fuck
up.
out of here.
Vomit on my
Let's get the
sweater
fuck
already.
out of here.
Mom spaghetti.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining in on episode 41. We know we had a little longer one here than we expected, but we appreciate you guys if you stuck it out. hung out here throughout the whole thing.
I don't know. We got a lot of praise on the 3-hour episode
I
from
know.
last week. I don't think.
Before we do leave, we are going to figure out our sponsorship. Maybe we'll talk about it after we quit recording here. But we do want to offer a sponsorship. You guys can wear one of our shirts at Nats, and we'll figure out some sort of something for that.
Thing for it. Yeah.
If you're interested in that, reach out to us, and yeah, we can set that up.
But as always, join the Discord. It's in the show notes. You can send us an email at bigdeckenergycast@gmail.com. Wes is the only one to have done that still. I got to figure out what to give Wes. I mean,
I
it's
think
sitting
I
up
have a
there.
chewed on cold foil cracked bobble.
Woof.
I'm still waiting on an email from LSS, man.
But
We want you to cast.
Yeah, Bailey gets in there.
And they,
Could you imagine?
Never mind.
You don't get canceled
Speaking
now.
of that, I got $5. Whoever can put a altar of Flake's face on Talk a Big Game. I got $5. Whoever can get me that.
fair enough.
It's funny.
Well-
We were talking about it the other night, and it'd be terrible, actually. Like if Cliff and I were in the booth, man.
Oh yeah,
Just
you
all
guys would be
stony
canceled immediately.
baloney. Just all stony baloney.
First
like,
game. Gone.
You guys would be fucking toast.
dude, so Andrew's on KO today, and he just played a 7 power with Go again, and dude, that dude better block or that shit's gonna hurt.
But why don't we get the fuck out of here?
Anyways.
And as we always like to say, signing off.
See ya.
Peace.
Until next week.
As always, it's a pleasure.